Hey everybody, what's going on? You guys know who this is, so there's no need for me to say it. I am back, and it's the review that you guys have all been waiting for. I know I said that I would review Reheneas, but then I got lazy, and then I kept putting it off, and stuff like that. So, but I'm not here to talk about that. And also, next week you won't hear from me. Well, I'll make another video after this. But enough chit-chatting. You guys clicked on this video to see a review of Reheneas, and that's what you guys are going to get. So, first I'll go into, his basis, Railway Series, and then TV Series, and then, we'll just go from there. So you guys know the drill, so, yeah. You guys will watch me unbox it, and, So here's Reheneas in his box. But, before I unbox Reheneas, let's just go into the box real quick. Looks really awesome to me. I love the style. On the back, it shows what's available. If you already saw my review of Skarloey... Oh, sorry. Skarloey is right here, so I already reviewed him. Now, I do plan... Let's see, narrow gauge box fans, I'll definitely get those. The slate wagons, I'll definitely get those. That, I do plan on getting all that's listed here, but, at some point I will get them. So, yeah. It says here 14 and up. Now, that's a lot better age than, 8 and up, Because I feel like 8 years old, yeah, I don't think so. 14 is the best recommendation. And Bachmann, if you're listening, please change the age recommendation on your Bachmann Thomas packaging to 14 plus. It would really be a lot more helpful. So, let's, get into the model. I'll unbox it for you guys, and then there's Reheneas. This is his instructions and diagram. And then here's Reheneas himself. Let me put these instructions back in the box. Before I do, here's his exploded diagram, just in case. Excuse me, I burped. I'm sorry. Alright, so here's Reheneas. Now, I'm going to remove him from his plastic prison. I'm just kidding, but I'm going to remove him from his box. It's pretty hard to do, seeing as how this is a one-person... Ah, there you go. Lift that out. Pick up Reheneas. And here he is. Now, I'm just going to have him sit on the standard gauge track for now. Just for now, until I can get some narrow gauge track. So, let's go into Reheneas, shall we? So, of course, Reheneas' basis is Dolgok. Dolgok, I believe? Yes, Dolgok. And I believe they're in... I think they're either in the United Kingdom or somewhere. I don't really know. But I think only, like, one of them is still running today. I have no idea. But, yeah. Alright, so, if you guys know Reheneas, he first appeared in Railway Series book number 10. Hang on. Railway Series book number 10. And he appeared in the story... I forget the story name, but oh well, that's not important right now. And it says that he and Skarloey are like brothers or something. I don't know. But yeah. Um, yeah. One thing about this is something that I noticed about the TV series. When the narrow gauge engine stories were adapted, they were all the same color in the book except for Duke. But here's what the thing that confuses me, or that really bothers me. In the TV series, they were given their own individual color. Now, of course, I understand they did that to avoid confusion. I understand why they did that. But yeah. So Reheneas obviously first appeared in season 4 of the TV series, along with the rest of the narrow gauge engines, such as Skarloey, Rusty, Duke, Peter Sam, Sir Handel, and Duncan. Like that, and just them. And they made frequent appearances throughout the series, and then they were absent for a while. I think starting in the new series, I think maybe season 8 to 9 they were absent. Or no, not season 9. I think that's when they just returned or so. They appeared frequently throughout the new series, like seasons 8 to 11. And then they made their final appearance in season 12. And then after that, the narrow gauge engines were not seen for a while. At least in the CGI series. Well, that is until seasons 13 to 6, and that is until season 16? Yes, season 16, which I refer to seasons 13 to 16 as the Miller era because that era was just shitty and stupid. But, going back to what I said, the narrow gauge engines finally made a return in season 16, which is, great. All of them returned except for Duke and Duncan for some reason. And also, in the season 15 episode, it says, according to storyboards, Duke and Peter Sam were going to appear in the episode Victor Says Yes. Now, I know this doesn't have anything to do with Reheneas, but it does have something to do with the narrow gauge, like all the narrow gauge engines. Now, my one question is, why did they get replaced at last minute? Like, why did they do that? In the original storyboard concept, it says that Duke and Peter Sam, I'm sorry for getting off track, but this has something to do with it. I'm sorry. This has something to do with the narrow gauge engines. But why were they replaced and written out at the last minute, even though in the storyboard or concept, they were originally going to appear? Like, what gives? Why do they do that? Anyway, I'm sorry to get off track. Back to Reheneas. Now, and then the narrow gauge engines, when Blue Mountain Mystery returned, or not returned, like premiered, Reheneas, I'd have to say, he's given a very, I'd have to say, Reheneas' personality remained consistent. Even in Blue Mountain Mystery, when they returned, Reheneas' personality, pretty much stayed the same. But, yeah. So let's go into the Bachmann model itself. So now, as we all know, Bachmann released Reheneas in 2000, hold on, it says here on the box, 2017. So he literally came out a year ago, along with Skarloey. And, I will say that this is something that I forgot to bring up. There's been many disputes over Reheneas' paint scheme. And I know Terrence the Tractor 525 already pointed this out. I actually have to agree with Terrence, I mean, why did some merchandise toy line screw up on Reheneas' paint scheme? I mean, first there was the Wooden Railway, which was that, I think, pink color. And then, also with Tomy Trackmaster, too. Ertl, I'm not so sure. But thankfully, Bachmann got his paint scheme correct. Which I am thankful for. If he was in that awful pink color, I would have lost my mind. Not really, but I think you guys know what I mean. I would not buy the model, even if it did look nice. So, anyways, going back to, Reheneas, I'll just have him sit on standard gauge track for now. As you can see, Reheneas' model is based on his CGI render, like Skarloey, and Oliver, and Rosie. So, from there, Bachmann just decided to just, you do that. Just model off their CGI renders. And you know what? I love it. To be honest, I prefer Reheneas, and I prefer the rest of the narrow gauge engines in CGI over their model counterparts. Because to me in CGI, the engines just look more detailed. Compared to their model series counterparts. So, yeah. Alright, so let's go into the model itself. So as you can see, Reheneas has like a lot of detail. They even have the, let me zoom in first. Okay, there we go. Let me zoom in. If my phone will focus. Well, it's not focusing, so I'm just going to have to just tap it until... Well, you know what? Let me zoom in. There's Reheneas' handrail on the top of his boiler. His coal bunker. They even got his whistle in the, in the correct shape. There's his nameplate, which spells Reheneas very neatly, and there's the number 2. Now, even though you can't see this, I'm looking at it from off camera. You know what? This is a bad angle. Oh, well, this is the best I can do, but you can actually see there's a molded firebox in there, which is cool. And then here's the back of Reheneas, which is really nice. He even has a tail lamp. Now, one thing I will point out, let me just turn Reheneas on his side for like a minute. Now, if you look close at the model, the piston part is actually plastic when the whole engine is die-cast metal. They did this with... I'm not going to pull out Skarloey, but they did this with Skarloey, and they even did it with Rosie. And it's just like Terrence the Tractor 525 said. They even did it with Rosie, who is also a standard gauge engine. I just hope they don't do it with... Now, I really hope they don't do it with Rusty. Because, to be honest, having one plastic part on a die-cast metal engine just makes it look cheap. But hey, I understand they did that to save money. I understand. So, I can understand that. So, there's his face. Which is, great. Oh man, this review has gone on for 13 minutes. Okay. So, my final thoughts on Reheneas. Excellent model. I can forgive the little plastic piston piece. I can forgive that. So, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Reheneas. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And comment down below if I missed anything about Reheneas. And yeah. So, this is James the Red Engine Fan, 1994, signing out.